don't think you can now.
No.
Big shape is
Okay.
for a business.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
We can rename it.
Yeah.
I think. We're fine.
Oh, we're good.
Oh,
You good?
okay.
You good?
I'll try to get to it.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
Good. Hey. Good summer.
Happy August.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. I'm calling this regular school committee meeting of the Sebago School Committee to order for August 23rd. Roll call. Maggie Williams is here. Janelle Allen is here. Wendy Newcomb is here. Chris Carrier is absent, and Rich Van Cooley may be here. Okay, stand and do the pledge.
I
pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, feeling good. I sit for that
All
one.
right.
See how far deep into the year we go.
There we go. Any agenda adjustments?
I would ask to make sure that we have we're going to add a name to the personnel action item for a long-term sub position. And I will announce that when we get there.
Okay, so. Do we need to vote on that?
I would ask that we act on that.
Okay. So we will make that action item.
It will be part of, we take them all together.
Okay, so is it
We'll just add it to
appointment or nomination?
nomination.
Okay, so it'll be a C under
Yep.
nomination.
Great.
And then in C. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to add long-term sub-position under action items 10 AC. Okay, it's been moved.
I'll second it.
Seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay,
Great.
all right. So that's done. Okay. The minutes for the previous meeting. Did anybody have any changes that needed to be made? I don't have anything. No colored pen. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Make a motion to accept it. Second it.
Excellent. Any discussion?
This time.
All in favor? Okay. And we have reached public comments. Any public comments?
It's very quiet.
It's still summertime, that's why.
Okay, seeing none. Superintendent's report.
Excuse me, thank you. So welcome back from what I hope was a great summer for all of the members of our Sebago community. I'd like to begin with staffing updates. So first, to all of our returning teachers and educators, a big thank you for coming back. We can't wait to see you over the next week as we get going with school again. We'd also like to welcome Hannah Layton as our new pre-K teacher. Hannah comes to us with a strong background in early childhood education and student support. So really looking forward to having her on board. Also welcoming Jen Lundstrom as our second special education teacher. Jen brings her experience as an educator of students with behavioral and developmental challenges. She'll be working primarily with our early grade students. We want to welcome back Willow Timothy in a new role. She will be our interventionist ed tech. She has a strong experience in literacy, student support, and knows our school, and we welcome her back. I'm giving you a heads up that Miranda Vacchiano, our grade 2 teacher, will be on maternity leave in September and October. So Miranda will be here to get school going. Then she'll go home to spend great time with her daughter, Emerson, until Emerson's childcare is ready to go. During the time that Miranda is out, Mary McKinnon will fill in as our long-term sub for the grade 2 classroom. Mary brings experience as a classroom teacher, gifted talent educator, and she will be great. And then, while we thought we were full staffed 2 weeks ago, we found out that we needed to hire a bus driver when we received Michelle Stokes' resignation. That was at our retreat. The collective could be heard around the community. John posted for the position, and we are in the hiring process for Sam Cousins, who has already been out doing the run. So we're waiting for fingerprinting, state background, and everything to finish up in the hiring process. But fingers crossed, we will start the year with 2 bus drivers and 2 van drivers, not Chris in the van. Also, it would be inconsiderate of me to not introduce Kathy Garish as your new recorder. So Kathy is going to fill in for Alan Crabtree, and she brings a host of experience, a wealth of experience in this role. So thank you, Kathy.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Also related to staffing, though not employees, we are going to introduce our contracted service team. So our multilingual language learners will be supported by Karen Knox. Karen Knox worked for the previous district that Sebago was part of, and she decided to rejoin us, providing English language support for students who need that. Speech and language services will be provided by Amanda Thayer, who's working through Southern Maine Children's Academy. So we're very fortunate to be able to contract with them to provide those services. Our occupational therapy services will be provided by Kim Marion. Celine Merritt will continue to do our psychological evaluations. And our tech guy for the year, and hopefully many forward, is Matt Calder. If you haven't met him, Matt is in the corner right now.
Welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
This is a heads up as we work to review it in more depth and look at how it might work. But with a school nurse who is currently contracted for 127 days, we are looking at the option of telehealth as a way to supplement times when Chris isn't here. So we have a proposal from an organization called Vera Eat Care. They would provide virtual consultation along with diagnostic materials that would give us access to licensed healthcare professionals when Chris isn't in the building. So you will know more about it before we go forward, but their proposal includes a one-time technology fee of, actually I shouldn't have said one time, includes a technology fee of $1,887, a nursing fee of $1,000, and a per student fee $25, which will come out to about $2,500. If we decide to go forward with that, I'll share information at the next meeting or in one of my updates. Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
It's at least in theory, it's like you have a nurse that's on a Zoom meeting and they have all the like stethoscopes and everything. So she would be able to look in the kid's throat. She would be able to take in the ear, and so she would be able to do the assessment. She would also provide, if a doctor needed to be called, she would give the report. It sounded to me like she would also call the parent if the child needed to be, go home. And so therefore things wouldn't be like dumped on someone who maybe has not even looked at the child and the parent has questions. It looks like it would, she would have, if not hands-on, visual access to help assess the child, and therefore, as I go more part-time, it wouldn't leave the school without anyone, especially if we had children with medical conditions that had to be closely monitored.
Thanks, Chris. So just a heads up, it's something we're looking at. We think that health and safety is vital, and we're trying to figure out how in a part-time on-site school nurse district we can provide full-time health and safety by qualified.
So out of
Yes.
curiosity, are we budgeted for a full-time nurse? And is it just Chris, because you're trying to go more part-time? And that's why we're looking into it, but normally
We are not budgeted for full-time nurse.
we're not.
We are
Okay,
budgeted for
for
Chris.
part-time.
Is the state providing any? I thought the first year the state would provide funds.
Chris is pointing out the need for the superintendent to read for meaning. I didn't see that when I read it, but if that's true, that's a no-brainer. I think in the paperwork I got today, it didn't say that. But reading is not how I learn best. So I'll go back and take a look, Chris. Because in that case, I'm sharing with you that we look to go forward and figure it out together. But if we have to pay for it, we'll still pay.
Okay. And then with this virtual one, if it's something that people decide they want to try it, is there a contract or do you not know yet? Because it's one of those where, say, for example, are we allowed to do it for a year? And if you find out after the school year, you're like, yeah, that wasn't worth it. We don't want to do it again. Or is it something where they're going to say, yeah, if you sign up, it's for the next 2 or 3 years?
I don't know
From
the
I talked to, it was a 1-year
Just a 1 year.
contract.
Okay.
and the information I got had a 3-year fee schedule.
Okay. So
And
that's
this Zoom meeting,
okay.
when they gave us like the dog and pony show.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, how much they can see and how they can assess children from distance. So, but we certainly will dig and get the rest of that information.
We will, especially who pays. Love that.
Okay.
All right, great. I also want to remind you that last spring, I shared with you that The Alphon Center for the Advancement of Maine's Workforce was looking for partners to join the Workforce Development Compact. Joining that compact allows businesses or organizations to receive funds from the Alphons to grow their current employee skill set. In our changing economic times, the investment the Alphons are trying out here is, it's really hard to hire and train workers. Skill sets needs are changing. We want to try to fund organizations to train up their existing employees. So we joined, and we are in the process of submitting an invoice to cover the $3,600 cost of our 8:30 professional development with our literacy footprints. And if all goes well on Thursday, that check should be coming back to us. And in addition, we are looking at a number of other professional development opportunities that we can use these funds for. So the compact pays up to $1,200 per staff member through December 31st, and then up to $600 per staff member for the next calendar year. So we're excited to find partners to help us support professional learning. And then you may be wondering what this piece of paper in front of you is with numbers and words. John and David Brown have been working all summer on going through our inventory of equipment to identify materials and equipment that is no longer usable. On your June committee meeting, we gave the superintendent approval to try to distribute or get rid of materials. After many pickup truck runs and possibly a U-Haul, we're sharing the list of what has currently been removed from the building. In addition, we are beginning to look at outdated instructional program materials that have been sitting around the facility for a long time, and beginning to try to clear out some space. So again, our goal is to clean out the basement, which is our tornado shelter. Number one, make sure that we are not egregiously out of code compliance with the old building by using that as a backyard garage storage. And then also to just generally spruce up the appearance of our building. So this is where we are so far. John might talk a little bit more about that for the principal report, but wanted you to have that.
Can I ask what the EOL stands for?
End of life.
Oh, okay, because I see like we got rid of 13 MacBooks. I was like, holy mackerel.
Yeah, no,
So they're just done.
oh yeah.
Okay.
We went through the, let's give the kids, let's do Ralph. And then Matt took us through exactly what you couldn't do with that. They haven't been updatable in years and years.
Okay.
and years.
Okay, I'm just curious what it stood for.
And they are actually the ones that we had when I started my career, and they were 4 years old then. So they're pretty old now.
And lastly, I just want everyone to know that you'll see action on the reopening plan is not part of our school committee agenda tonight. So we are moving into the 22-23 school year with updated CDC guidance around our health and safety planning. I will include a link to that, and there'll be a link on our webpage. We'll communicate to parents. Masks are optional. We are going to continue to do our best around ventilation and sanitation. And then follow guidance around notification quarantining, but it's basically, if this is here, please keep your child home if they are sick for whatever reason. And we can do more about it, but it feels like a year that is as close to normal as it was or has been for a while. That is my report. And the only piece, that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have a presentation or report this
We do
evening?
not.
Okay. So you're up, John,
Yeah.
principal's report.
So it's been a busy summer. And I'll start off, I broke my report. It did have new hires, but I broke my report to communication facilities, technology and transportation. Oh, you want me to come up there?
Probably, so
that would
you
be
can be on
easier.
camera.
Yeah.
If we have to be so.
So I broke it down into communications,
Should I
facilities,
turn it?
transportation, and technology. I started this year, thanks to David, working on the title grants. We got that submitted, and I think we're in good shape because we got kicked back once, and I corrected those errors and resubmitted it and haven't heard. So,
Oh, no, we're approved.
oh, we are. Okay, perfect. I had not heard
Thank
that. So we're approved. So that's a good start. Also, over the summer, I've got a hold of all our service providers to kind of let them know I'm here. There's a change in school administration, and I'm the contact point. And really, the calls were about what's our relationship look like? How do we interact throughout the year so that I would kind of have a better sense of those relationships. So that was a big piece of it. Also under communication, throughout the summer, I sent out an introduction letter to families, posted it on the website, or Matt posted it on the website. We have sent out the pre-K and kindergarten orientation letter along with the bus routes, so parents have that. Of course, we've posted the open house in the first day of school letter, so parents understand what's going on as we move forward. And today, the regular bus routes went out for elementary, middle, and high school, so parents have access to that. And of course, there's been communication from me to staff throughout the summer and people in the community. I know Jordan's pretty good, and I get lunch there occasionally, so that's the communication piece. Facilities has been the biggest piece. That's where myself and Dave have spent the majority of our time. We did join, as David talked about, and I provided a list of things that we're disposing of. We're not just disposing. We joined the Share Center in Lewiston, and it costs $400. And you really, it's a little bit of money for a lot of reward. We've gotten new updated student desks, student chairs, teacher desks. We've gotten a couple cafeteria tables. We're picking up some more teacher desks tomorrow, trash cans for the cafeteria. We've gotten a lot of resources from the Share Center. And a matter of fact, because we didn't have a big enough vehicle to transport some of it, they used their truck, and we put stuff in their truck and transported it here. And she also connected me with a business that was going fully remote in Lewiston. So we got some indoor outdoor carpets from that office as well. We got a new desk for Shelley because she really needed one. And I'm trying to get some dividers for our special services rooms as well to kind of give those kids the privacy that they need. So it's been a good relationship over the past summer working with the Share Center. In the facilities itself, we've replaced 3 toilets over the summer. We've updated the flooring in first and second grade. We're replacing the motor in the unit vent in kindergarten. And the circulating pump for the hot water in the boiler, we're replacing that. And of course, we discarded a lot of furniture and replaced it with newer, better furniture that should get us a little bit further moving forward. And the last piece of facilities is we now have the handicap buttons that we need so that people can get in and out of the building appropriately. That's been done. They still have a little bit of work, but the buttons work.
It's almost there.
They're almost there.
You can get out, maybe, but not in. Or John just programmed it that way for me. I think.
He's got to relax. Keep the door open. And as David said, we hired a new technology, he likes to be called the technology guy, which I think is appropriate. He's done a lot of work getting the laptops ready for kids, really digging into what we have and what we need. So he's updated the laptops, service and ready for use, updated the school webpage. If you look, it's a lot more user friendly now. And we're working on that daily. He's updated web to school. He is researching a new vendor for our copiers. So that kind of a local person, so that way it's easier to get those kind of things taken care of when they go down. And he's also creating a list of our online sources and how they're being used, or if they're being used, so we know that we're spending the people of Sebago's money properly on things like that. And then finally, transportation. All 3 buses have been serviced over the summer, waiting for bus 4, which is down in Westbrook, which will be back Wednesday. Our larger van got some brake work and got some recall stuff done down at row Ford. And currently our caravan is down in the Westbrook lot, and we're getting our servicing, not just on our buses, but our vans also done by Westbrook School Department. So it's kind of a one, getting all our service in one place would make it a little bit easier for us, I think. So I met with the staff. I went down to Westbrook Bus Barn, met with the mechanics, the people that are doing the work on our buses, to really have a conversation about how we can keep our buses in better shape. And that was a great conversation. He gave me his phone number so I can communicate. Sid and I can communicate back and forth regarding our maintenance. They were really, really helpful and kind, and I think it will be a good relationship moving forward. Thursday, I'm meeting with the transportation coordinator, Melissa, and we're going to talk about all the reports that end up, for the state that have to be done through NEO. She's going to kind of spin me up on that so that they can be done properly. And then, of course, today, both bus drivers went on their routes today so that they could see where all the kids are. Shelley did a great job, because with Michelle resigning, we had to, how are we going to put the routes together? So Shelley and I drove the routes together. She marked down everything she needed to mark down, and she created the routes. And then we took the bus drivers on it just to kind of verify that these are good, they're going to work. And so that's why they went out this afternoon. And we are excited for open house, excited for kids to be here, excited for parents and kids to be here prior to next Wednesday. And that is it.
And John, for those people watching at home, when is open house?
Open house is the 29th of August from 4 to 6. And we also have a barbecue and open house that night. So it should be a great opportunity to bring the community together, families together, and the staff together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Chairwoman's report. Well, I will report that 2 weeks ago, the school committee, along with our superintendent and our new principal, had our annual retreat. We learned a lot. We worked on setting goals for the upcoming year, which we're continuing to workshop and kind of fine tune. And we had Steve Bailey, the executive director of the Maine School Management Association, do the trainings with us. And he was here the whole day, and it was great. It's always great when we can have him for a good chunk of time, because we learn a lot. And as you know, we don't know as much as we should ever. So there we go. So we know more now. Is there anything else I should be reporting on? I think that was it.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Are you looking for any community members to participate in anything?
Well, sure.
Okay.
Let me just speak on that. a
Go
little
right
bit.
ahead.
So last meeting we had in June, we talked about before and after school care. And so we wanted to just form a study group. Currently, myself and Rich are on it. I am looking for a couple of more people. Like you said, it's I'd love to have some teachers volunteer. I'd love to have some parents volunteer. And again, this is just to look at the committee to see, is it possible? Because we know it's a huge need in this town. I'm a parent. I know I could definitely benefit from it. But it's to say, you know, what kind of program is it? What would it look like? What would it entail? So then as we form, and like I said, it's just a study group, we would maybe try to meet once a month if we, you know, got enough people on it. Like I said, I'm not looking to have 20 people on it, hoping for a couple of teachers and a couple of parents to join. I know you had already, John, you had already emailed some, like the teachers.
Yeah, I had a couple pop in today,
Okay,
but I'm going to talk to the staff about it the first day we have together.
okay,
Because, you know, sometimes face to face, you get a better response. Sometimes people aren't looking at emails right now.
right.
Yep. So.
And that was the other thing. David made a good point because I'd also like to try to get word out to parents.
Mhm.
So I know you guys also have a way to whether you text or your email to the community. So
Yeah.
I was wondering if maybe we could send out an email regarding that as well to say any parents who would like to be on the group.
If you want to send me an email with what you would like me to say,
Sure.
then I'll put it in a text message and send it out to all
Okay.
parents.
Yep, that would be great.
Awesome.
Would you like to make the same plea or are you all set?
I'm part of a study group that is going to explore the possibility of bringing the 6th grade back to Sebago Elementary School. And we need to look into the logistics of that in terms of space and budget and desirability in the community and what would it do for the children. So I could use some people also who would be interested in joining me in this pursuit.
And maybe, John, you could also, if Wendy were to email you.
I can merge
you
that
could-
together.
Yes,
Right.
thank you.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right.
Good.
Okay, all set. So we are at action items. Okay. So personnel, do you want to speak on this before we?
I'll speak briefly. I mentioned Hannah Layton. She comes to us from Southern Maine Children's Academy. She has extensive experience with our early childhood education and our early learners. We are happy as can be that she has agreed to move over to our school. She has been in working on her classroom, bringing back the pre-K program as it was designed to be after our challenging last year. Will be great for our 4-year-olds. Jen Lundstrom as our second special education teacher. Again, she comes over from a neighboring district. She's worked extensively with students who have, in addition to learning challenges, behavioral and developmental challenges, incredibly positive, can-do attitude. Very excited to have her on board. You'll remember last year, we advertised most of the school year for a second teacher. And we were able for this year to combine some ed tech money and some teacher money to fund the full-time teacher. And we feel like we've got a good one. And then Mary McKinnon, who we're adding to this as a long-term sub for grade 2. Again, a community member, experienced educator, big smile. I think the second graders are going to be in good hands. And then, so that will be the first personnel item. Actually, we take them all together. And then Willow Timothy as our Ed Tech 3 interventionist. Willow's moving out of the special ed position into a regular ed position to work with Leslie McConnell, supporting students who need something in addition to classroom learning in an attempt to bring them as close to grade level as possible. So Willow is, again, another person with a positive can-do attitude, literacy background, and she really wants to be in our school and community, and we are really thankful that she will be. So I'd ask that we take those all as one action item unless somebody has objections to it.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve the nomination
An appointment.
and appointments, the nominations and appointments as written
Great.
on our agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. Thanks. Any discussion? I'm just pleased to see that there are members of our community, our immediate community here in Sebago.
Oh, that's great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Discussion items. Have anything on the agenda? So we'll move on to items for future agendas. We had a couple of things from the workshop.
Review of the professional calendar.
How about review and update?
Sure. And then we also, could we add operation committee report to our regular agenda? Kathy, please.
And then this is where we have the executive session there.
Can we also add I wanted to revisit the background checks in the next one.
Yes.
Maggie, how do you want that to show on the agenda? What type of thing is that? Discussion item?
Yeah, probably, yeah, discussion,
Discussion.
because like you said, I just wanted to revisit it just to get an understanding of what the school currently does. And to see if we want to try to beef it up or if it's good the way it is. So,
And that could also go on the workshop agenda as well. Right?
Sure.
Can you put that on both agendas? Thank you. Okay, and then we want to have an executive session at the end of our regular meeting, Kathy.
Personnel.
Yes. I can't come up with those statutes in my head, but I have
It's
a list.
evaluation. of the superintendent.
And I hear you, Wendy, what?
Well, I don't even know if this is relevant to this, but I heard that there might be no longer any funding for free lunch and breakfast in the federal government. Is that correct? I heard something on the news about that last night, and I didn't know if that would be impacting us.
When last we looked at this, which was very recently, we have communicated to staff and parents, or we will be to parents, that the cost of breakfast and lunch is still completely covered for every student.
Okay.
That has not changed.
Mhm.
Unless there's really late breaking news, but I would assume that would be big news that people would be talking about.
Well, they were saying that it was on the news the national news last night, that it was no longer going to be, the federal money was coming from the COVID response,
Mhm.
and that was ending. So I wondered if that had any impact upon us at all. So apparently not.
I haven't heard anything yet,
Yeah,
and I would think that
You wouldn't
DOE
know.
would have said something else.
Okay, good.
and Morgan
Nice to hear.
just prepared another year of everybody gets
Yeah.
free breakfast.
Well, in the state of Maine, Janet Mills is making sure, what did she have monies that she set aside or the surplus or something? She's put a chunk toward
Great.
free breakfast and lunch for all schools, something.
All right.
Okay.
And then also Kathy, make sure on upcoming or informational items. Let's make sure that we update that as far out as we want. So a couple of months of our next meetings.
Okay. Anything else? All right,
So
I'm-
August.
looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? All right,
you all.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow.
Are we still recording? Yes.
Oh, it's counting, it's on.
So yes, I know we're still recording.